Hi everybody, I've received another parcel from Toole Automotive for my Maserati Granturismo. Let's go take a look. Right, I've already opened the box because I didn't want to have 10 seconds of me trying to fiddle undoing the sellotape and making you all think that I'm completely inept. So what do I have? Well, I have a WindBooster here. And first impressions are, what a cool box. This reminds me of an iPhone box. Let's test it out. Oh yeah, hear that slide. Yeah, that must be the same manufacturers make this box as the iPhone boxes. So we have a WindBooster. Now, what is a WindBooster? Well, what this basically does is this plugs between the accelerator pedal and the ECU. So basically the signals that come out of the accelerator pedal will go into this unit here and then be adjusted before they go into the ECU to tell the car how fast to accelerate. So you have this little control unit here that goes on the dashboard, presumably a sticky tape, and I can stick that somewhere, and that can change the settings of the accelerator pedal. Yeah, this is very iPhone-y, isn't it? Not that I ever get new iPhones, but I did get given one once, and it happened to be in the box. Oh yeah, got the little thing there. I believe you can fit in an app as well and do it on your phone as well, but I'm not sure. I'll try it and see what it's like. But yeah, so this is the wiring harness here. So all that happens with this one, I believe, is that you undo this, and this is, there you go. So you take your accelerator pedal out, you unplug the socket that's already in it, you plug that into the accelerator pedal and that into the wiring loom for the car. So there's no wiring involved other than plugging this in. So it is literally plug and play. So the idea behind this, this is something that's quite new to me, is that the Maserati, like a lot of cars nowadays, have an electronic throttle, not the original cable that, like, for instance, I have on the Harley. Harleys have gone to electronic throttles as well, by the way. But what happens is when you push down on the throttle, it takes that signal, turns it into a voltage and runs it to the ECU, which tells the ECU what to do. What these do is they intercept that signal and then adjust it so you get what feels like a different throttle response. I'm not entirely sure how that all functions, and we're going to find out in this video how it all runs. But my basic understanding at the moment is that whereas, if you push on the throttle pedal like this, you're going to get a certain amount of response, a certain amount of change from the potentiometer, type of potentiometer, whatever it's got inside. Whereas what this will do is it will alter that feel to the pedal and make the car feel much more responsive. So I'm rather looking forward to a simple job on this car for once. She's just gone through MOT, which has really cheered me up quite a bit, actually. I had to buy new rear tyres, though. They were expensive. So here we are, and look at these pedals. Let's go take a look. So I've got my various humming electrical noises in here. I've got my sockets ready. It's 10mm sockets to take out the accelerator pedal. You haven't seen the other little shorts video I did? Look, I've got this really cool sort of side pedal. I've actually modified my Toole automotive pedal as well with that nice little sticker in the middle. I just think that looks really cool. Anyway, so I think the best thing to do with this is I think I'm going to try and remove the pedal because I want to see if I've got room to put the electric harness behind the pedal or under the floor or something. So let's get that pedal out. Right, it suddenly feels very much deja vu in here. As if I'd have been in here only a short few days, or it's been a couple of weeks actually. The MOT was okay. Not many advisors this time, which is cool. I've still got advisors on the lower ball joints on the front, but I will have to worry about that. Someone on eBay is selling just the control arms, and they're not Chinese, they're original, so
I guess I'm just going to have to suffer the cost. So there's 3 bolts here, all 10mm. There's a little clip on the side, and it just comes out like that. Brilliant. Great, there you go. Oh, that was fairly painless, wasn't it? So there's the pedal, just there. And that's where the plug goes into the back of it. There's a washer. Anyway, so this new harness will just plug in there and then plug back onto the original socket. And that is the installation. So the only question is, can I fit all the cabling up underneath here? There is space up there. We'll find out. Let's see. So this is going to plug like this because it's got to come from the bottom really. So that comes in there like that. On. That's on. I need to somehow get that on there. Oh, it's one of these plugs where you can't get it the wrong way round. Not even I can get it the wrong way round, I should say. So that's good. Yeah, right. That's now plugged back in there. So technically it's installed, other than worrying about some other bits. So I reckon there might be enough space. Side carpet. Right. Can earlier statements. I just found that there's a space back here, and this just pulls off. It pulls off and leaves the clips behind, but the clips are here, so I can hopefully pry these off carefully with a screwdriver in a minute. You know, they're those type clips, and then I'll stick them back on there. Look at that, they're going to put bolts on the back of it, on this little stainless steel panel that they stick in. I was trying to undo this and I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't come undone. Yeah, removing that makes it a little bit easier, look, because now I can get behind this carpet and I can just make sure that I get this really nicely installed, cable in place. So I can feed the cable for the lightning adapter for the iPhone. I can actually get behind here into these cables here and stick it up here, run it up the side here, up round here, and into this area here. So this is all nicely hidden away. And this, I can make sure that this is completely out the way of the pedal before I bolt the pedal down. Look, that'd be a good place to hide some chocolates. Yeah, I could fit a couple of double deckers in there. No one would know. Yeah, then you get stopped by customs one of these days if I ever take it to France, and they'll find that and they'll think, why is he hiding a chocolate bar there? That's crazy. And they'll be like suspicious of drugs, and before you know where I am, the guy's got the glove going on, and yeah, and I need a cushion then for the next couple of weeks. Okay, so it's now just tighten these things up again. Not too tight. I've got my little ratchet now. I'll just tweak them up. That's the end. And then it's just root this up here somewhere. Yeah, I think I have to take those off and do it properly in a second. But that generally is it fitted. So, like, one thumb of simplicity, really easy. Right, I was a bit wrong earlier. The lightning cable here actually plugs into the little head unit. I thought for some reason it was on Wi-Fi or something, but no, it plugs in there. So yeah, the cable allows me to bring it up to somewhere logical around here, and I'll figure out where I'm going to stick it later on. As soon as you turn on the ignition, the little thing comes on, and then you can just cycle through your modes like this. Now, I hoped that I was going to be able to get my functional parameters out on the Autel. And you can see accelerator pedal potentiometer 1, accelerator pedal potentiometer 2. But I hope what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to time the change. I'm not sure it's going to work. It seems to take a long time to respond. That's not the throttle pedal taking a long time to respond. I mean, the Autel seems to have a lag in it. I was hoping I was going to be able to push on this and then see the potentiometer reaction and then actually judge it and show what the difference is. At idle, it looks like it's always 0.74 volts on one and 0.38 volts on the other, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get an enormous amount of data on this. So I guess it's really going to come down to how the car feels when I'm driving down the road. So I guess that's the best thing to do now. Right, so I'm going to give her a little test run now in normal mode. So in other words, the standard Granturismo pedal. I'm doing this just so I can calibrate my feelings, okay? And then I'm going to switch into race 9 down here, so I got a real comparison. So I'm moving my foot quite a lot to get it to accelerate, and to kick down it takes quite a lot. When Ferrari delivered the F136 engine, basically I think what they did is they dialed everything back a lot to reduce the power, reduce the throttle response, obviously so it wouldn't compete with Ferraris, and also so it would have that Gran Turismo feel. God, there's loads of people down here. I'm feeling rather self-conscious with this camera and everything. I feel like dad cars, but without the dodgy shorts. Yes, it's getting cold, so he won't be wearing those shorts for much longer in this cold, horrible British weather. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change to the race setting. So all I do is I click on this little button here, not sport plus. I'm going to go race, and I'm going to go race 9, so I get that real different feel, you know. Right, so, and that should do it. I'll leave her in auto. So let's go. Whoa, heck, yeah, okay. That's quite a lot more throttle response than I was expecting. You can tickle the throttle. It's amazing because you can tickle the throttle, but it's like as soon as I move my foot, the car responds. And to kick down, yeah, to kick down a gear, I mean, it's hard to judge because my foot's down there, but I don't know, half an inch of travel or something like that. In other words, you know, slight bit of acceleration, slight bit more, and she kicks down. I'm not in sport mode, by the way. So, yeah, it's pretty much changed the way the car feels. It feels like it's right there, ready to go. Just going to take it careful around here, not that I stuff it in a ditch in this rainy weather with my brand new rear tyres. Now let's see how she runs in manual. Yeah, she's feeling a lot more sprightly now. It's like she's hung up the old grandmother negligee and undercoverings and slipped on a cool bikini. Yeah, it's quite a nice feel, and it's I mean, obviously I'm on race 9, so this is the biggest setting other than drag. I'm not quite sure what drag's all about, by the way. I guess it's for those people that like to wear high heel shoes in a very large shoe size. I tried finding them myself once. They can do them in 12. But yeah, so this is like the most extreme setting, and you can just feather that pedal. Oh, I'm in manual, so she won't kick down. We're going to auto. Now, it doesn't, I don't believe it changes the gearbox settings at all. It can't, because it's just running the throttle. But presumably the ECU is taking that throttle input, the throttle, you know, pedal position, and it just, obviously it's making it change quicker. It's bringing up that sensitivity, or lowering, increasing that sensitivity to throttle position. So even though it's not directly affected by it, it still makes it change. Yeah, it's cool. I like this. Right, so, whoops, I'm in sport now. And I'm wheel spinning. Right, so changing to sport has gypped it up even a little bit more. Yeah, it feels like I'm driving a race car now. I've just wheel spun out of there. So as I say, this is race 9 with the sports setting enabled too. And you can obviously tinker the throttle a little bit, yeah, but let's see, just a little bit of pressure and you get an immediate response from her. Just that little bit of extra pressure and she kicks down. I'm not changing gears, I'm still in automatic. Yeah, she's very much singing now, isn't she? Feels very, very, very much sort of faster and more engaged. It's like basically you've got a little, you've had an old dog for a long time that's been half deaf and you've had to prod off of the couch to go for a walk, and you've changed to a young puppy, and now it's like as soon as you go to move your hand, it's like, what you doing? What you doing? I'm ready, let's go. So it's, I better be careful along here, it's getting a bit slippy. So yes, it literally just changes the whole character of the car. It just transforms it. Right, one thing I found with the reversing is best to switch it out of race version 9, particularly when you've got a big fence like this coming up behind you, or you're driving near your garage, because believe me, she's quite sensitive in race 9. And the problem is as you're reversing, basically your foot's on the pedal and you get a little bit of weight transfer, and you don't normally notice it, but with the race setting, a little bit of pedal and she moves quite quick, and then you accidentally push it more, and before you know where you are, you've trashed the fence. So yeah, take it out of race 9 before you go reversing the car is my advice. So I've driven the car around quite a bit now, and what do I think? And I have to say, I'm really quite impressed. I really am quite impressed. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I'd read a lot of the forums, and there, you know, people have made comments like, why use these sorts of types of modules? Because you can just move your foot more. You know, essentially, the pedal's still there, the engine's still the same, everything's still the same in the car. You know, it's a potentiometer in that pedal. Just move your foot more, work your foot more, and you get the same result. I don't think that's the answer. I don't think that's the full answer to the situation you've got going on here. For one thing, what you've got to remember is that how you're connected to the car is actually quite important. The sensitivity of the parts on the car, your interfaces to the machine, are actually quite important. Look at it like this steering wheel, for example. Manufacturers spend a lot of money and time and effort to get the steering the right amount of sensitivity so that you can have that feedback as you turn corners. I mean, we've all seen Top Gear and Jeremy Clarkson trashing some car, you know, and he's sat there going, rah, you know, I'm driving along, it's like a Le Mans, you know, I'm turning, turn, will you, car, turn, you know, where are you? Sort of thing, his curly hair bobbing around like that. And you could say to him, look, mate, just use your hands. The steering wheel's there, you know, it's the same steering wheel, it's the same wheels, turn more. But the truth of the matter is we know that that's not actually true, because for one thing, if you were to work that steering wheel more, give more input, you'd end up looking like a 1920s, 30s racing driver like this, or me driving the Model T. The other thing, of course, is it's quite likely you'd end up shoving the car in the ditch. So how the level of sensitivity and the level of feedback is actually quite important to the elements of the car. And I feel like the WindBooster, what it's doing is it's doing that for that accelerator pedal, and it's giving you that better feedback, because the standard pedal really is just too mushy. I mean, I have to push down 3, I think it feels like it's 4 or 5 inches, but I think it's about 3 inches to get the car to kick down a gear. You know, it feels like you're making a command, and you know, it takes time for everything to respond. Whereas when I stick it in race 9, you know, I go like this, and it's like instantly I've said, car accelerate, and the throttle body's gone, yes, and it's increased the flow to the engine, increased the power to the back wheels, and the car's like instantly responding to my demands. Whereas the standard pedal, it's almost like I've written some kind of note and said, please accelerate, and it takes time for it to work through the system. So yeah, I think
there's a lot more to it than just increasing the throttle, the accelerator pedal response. It's made the car feel very different. It's made it feel faster. You know, one of the criticisms of Granturismos that people have had is they are a touring car and they don't feel like they got a lot of get up and go. And I wonder how much of that is simply down to that accelerator pedal just being dialed back so much so it wouldn't infringe on Ferrari's sort of patch, if you like, and keep that Gran Turismo I'm proceeding down the road type manner in. In essence, this car has always needed a little race button. I mean, the Stradale had a little race button that would then transform a lot of the settings. I don't know if it adjusted the throttle pedal, by the way. But what the WindBooster's done, I feel, is with that sport button that I've already got, and with the WindBooster set up a setting, it feels like I've now got my own race mode on the car. And that's really, really cool. So yeah, it's 195 quid including delivery. And yes, I got this for free and I'm keeping it. I like it. So it's got the thumbs up from me. And yeah, I'm impressed. So if this video has been useful to you or entertaining or, you know, not too dull or something like that, please consider liking the video, subscribing, maybe dropping a comment or even a share, you know, and I'd appreciate that very much. So thanks very much for watching and have a great day.
Oh, I've got a couple of tanks coming towards me now. Look at that, they're coming up behind me and there's this poor guy in a high-vis jacket walking in front. Well, that's a dodgy thing to do, I tell you. I used to work on the camps and the amount of times someone would run into toilets and knock buildings off the foundations and stuff. I would not want to have his job, basically. So that's the new Ajax up there driving past. It's a fairly ugly tank. I haven't made it look particularly pretty or cool, but it's pretty good. And then that thing following there is a Bulldog. The Bulldog's been in service since the 1950s. They keep on trying to kill it, but it always comes back. It's one of those things that just doesn't want to die.